Hello and welcome back to the Art of Reflection. Have you ever caught yourself staring at an old photo of yourself for way too long? Not out of pure nostalgia, but with that quiet ache in your chest, thinking, was I really that young once? That fresh-faced, that glowing, where did that go? And then you look in the mirror today, and there it is. The line that wasn't there before, the shadow under your eyes that doesn't quite fade, the way your skin doesn't bounce back the way it used to. And suddenly, you're spiraling. We don't just dislike aging, we fear it, we hate it. Because aging isn't just about looking older. It's about confronting the one thing we try to push away every single day. The fact that we're going to die. Every wrinkle is a reminder time is passing. Every gray hair whispers, you are temporary. But here's what fascinates me. We live in an age where we think we can fight it. Botox, fillers, plastic surgery, vampire facials, stem cell injections. We don't just want to look young, we want to be young forever. We want to outsmart nature, outwit time itself. But can we? Or are we just desperately distracting ourselves from what we can't control? Think about the people you see online. Celebrities who look forever 35, influencers who claim their collagen powder reversed their age by a decade, people who've had so much Botox they can't frown anymore. They look youthful, sure, but do they look alive? It's like their faces are frozen in time, like wax figures in a museum. Is that really what we want? Because what are we actually running from? We're running from irrelevance, from being forgotten, from no longer being desirable in a world that worships flawless, untouched, filtered beauty. And yet, ironically, the more we chase youth, the more we lose something else, the authenticity of having lived. Here's the philosophical question beneath it all. Why are we so terrified of aging when it is the one thing that proves we've existed here for more than just a fleeting moment? Epicurus believed that we shouldn't fear death because when it comes, we won't be around to experience it. But most of us don't fear being dead. We fear becoming old and irrelevant before we die. We fear losing social value. We fear invisibility. And in a culture where beauty is currency, aging feels like going bankrupt. But let's zoom out. Across history, many cultures valued age. Grey hair was a sign of wisdom. Wrinkles were marks of survival. Elders were teachers, leaders, guides. Today, it's as if we're saying aging is shameful, hide it, fix it, reverse it. We're terrified to look like we've lived. And yet, what is a life lived if not one that leaves its mark? Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic thinkers, wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." He didn't say, "You could look older tomorrow. Let that determine what you inject into your face today." He said, "Death is coming, live accordingly." And that's where our obsession with youth becomes tragic. Instead of letting the awareness of mortality push us to live boldly, we let it push us to live fearfully, constantly scanning for flaws, fixing, injecting, hiding, denying. But here's the paradox. We think staying young will make us happier, but the more we fight age, the more anxious we become. Because there's no finish line. No point where you say, I've done enough now, I'm allowed to age. You're stuck forever, needing maintenance, needing touch-ups, needing to keep up with a version of yourself that existed decades ago. Is that freedom, or is that another kind of prison? And let's be brutally honest here. Does altering your face truly change the way you feel about time passing? Or does it just create a disconnect between how you look and who you really are? Because your body knows, your soul knows, and no amount of Botox can inject meaning into your life. We think we're fighting aging, but what we're actually fighting is a fear of being unloved. We think if I stay youthful and beautiful, people will want me, value me, keep me around. But does love that depends on youth ever feel real? Imagine this. You're 80 years old, but your face looks 40. Do you really think that erases the 8 decades you've lived? Or does it just hide the proof that you've laughed thousands of times, cried hundreds of nights, helped people you love, lost people you couldn't imagine losing, and somehow survived it all? I think about trees in autumn. They don't cling to their leaves. They let them turn golden, then brown, then fall. Because that's how spring comes again. That's how the cycle continues. But we want eternal summer. No autumn, no winter, just frozen blossoms locked in time, lifeless. And yet life is beautiful because it ends, because it changes, because each stage has its truth. Plastic surgery isn't evil, botox isn't evil, but the obsession with never aging, that's where we lose ourselves. Because here's what no surgeon can give you: the depth of a life reflected in your eyes, the quiet dignity of accepting reality, the confidence that doesn't come from youth, but from knowing who you are beyond your appearance. We chase immortality through our skin, our lips, our eyes, but immortality doesn't exist in flesh. It exists in meaning, in what you create, in who you impact, in how you love, in what you leave behind. Imagine if, instead of spending all that time and energy and money fighting aging, we spend it living, learning, creating, exploring, loving more deeply, forgiving more quickly. Imagine if we wore our wrinkles like medals. This is the one from laughing so hard with my best friend that I cried. This is one from the stress of raising a child I love with all my soul. This one is from the grief of losing my father and surviving it. They're not flaws, they're proof that we didn't just exist, we lived. So here's my question to you today. When you look in the mirror and see the signs of time, what do you see? Decay or evidence? Loss or life? Because immortality isn't about looking the same forever. It's about living in such a way that even after your body is gone, your presence still remains, in memories, in stories, in ideas, and in love. Aging is inevitable, meaning is optional. Choose wisely. Until next time, keep questioning, keep reflecting, and stay curious.